So my name is Csaba Kókai. I'm architect at IT Services Hungary. My main task is the automation, how to automation the cloud. And I will present the OTC, the Open Telekom Cloud, which based on OpenStack, how run, what's the everyday problem, and so on and so forth. So, in a nutshell, the OTC, the first plan about 2012, the Deutsche Telekom wants to build a public cloud solution service, and they try nearly everything on the market, and they started in production the OpenStack Days Open Telekom Cloud at 2016 March, and the big start party was on CeBIT. Nowadays we have 2 data centers in Germany, and 7 days ago the Singapore site was launched. From the advertisement, you know, every servers what we used, it takes the Huawei. So we have a cooperation agreement with Huawei. They take me the hardware, the storages, the servers, web application firewall, and so on and so forth. So nearly anything. Nowadays, more than 2,000 physical servers works in German data centers. We have public data centers and the other the test environment. At the last week, there was 10 gigabit per second internet bandwidth, but last week it raised to 40 gigabit. Because the customer, thanks God, comes to try and use the OTC environment, and we need to raise up the internet speed. The OTC, based on, I mentioned Huawei servers, with enterprise class servers and storage. That's important because the 90% of storage contains enterprise SSD, so the IOPS is very high. If you want to try this, in my pocket there's a voucher. If you want, you will try with this voucher the Open Telekom Cloud. At our desk you will get more than 100. This voucher trial date extended to end of July because it contained end of February, but every voucher extended. In March, everybody wants, from architect side, from technical side, we need to use automation because there are more than 2,000 servers, and it's crazy to operate with hand and install and so on and so forth. So we decided we will use to Ansible for automation. Okay, it's we want to reduce deployment time. Everybody hates the repeating task. So we try to automation nearly everything. Our management wants to one-click automation. It means the user log into our dashboard, push the button, and it builds the complete environment. It's a nice idea, but we work on it. And automation is the most important thing, because if you want to create a standard system, you need to deploy standard scripts, standard packages for the whole environment. We used for operating system CentOS, and Huawei will take CentOS fork, its name Isler OS. It's based on CentOS 7, and they want to change all of the base operating system on the physical server to Isler OS from CentOS, and some servers I think contains SUSE Linux Enterprise, but it will change to Isler OS as well. So in this, this is our dashboard now. As you can see, we have several solutions nowadays. So the typical, you need a VM. You will use the Elastic Cloud Server. You have we have Docker with Kubernetes background. You have a chance to upload your own images. So in the help of the dashboard will show how can you build a own image and how can you upload it to Open Telekom Cloud. We have two security solutions. The key management service, you store here your SSH key to virtual machine, and the anti-DDoS, if you switch it on, your system will be prevent from DDoS attacks. From storage, like every other public cloud solution, we have block storage, and every storage has got encryption. So if you want to encrypt your data, you need click a tick, and your data will be encrypted. The Cloud Eye is a resource monitoring and alarm notification. You need to pay a little euro for it, but it sends the notification, alarm notification, and check always your resources. The identity and access management, it's similar like Amazon IAM, and I don't know how can say in Azure environment. The Cloud Trace service is a very interesting service because if you switch it on, it nearly like a trace log in a Java application server. It log everything, the clicking, who were login to the server, what did it, everything logging. It's a pay. It needs to pay for it, but it's very useful if you have any issue on your system. Migration as a service, I think nowadays we can migrate to VMDK, VMware disk to Open Telekom Cloud, but in the future release you will have the chance to migrate KVM, Xen, and I think Azure disk to Open Telekom Cloud. MapReduce services comes from big data solution, so the Hadoop platform. From the network side, you have a chance to create own virtual network, use a load balancing system. The domain name service is a new service in OTC, and the direct connect is a high-speed connection from outside to the OTC host. Nowadays, the application is the distributed message service, is a Redis server. If you want a simple message notification, it's a push notification for Android, iOS telephone. And we have an enterprise applications named Workspace. It's a virtual Windows 10 environment. So if you want to use Windows, but on your laptop is Linux, you will pay for them and you will be able to use Windows 10 desktop environment. One of the biggest topic in every cloud solution, the security. So the base idea was the Deutsche Telekom wants to build a cloud where the data stores in Germany and your data never leave the German data center. So that's why several German companies use the OTC, because we guarantee your data is sit in our data center, and no NSA checking and no other secret service checking. We use multi-tier web application firewall and firewall solution. So there are several firewall and web application firewall check the incoming traffic. And about 2 months ago, the Deutsche Telekom wants ethical hacker security test to all OTC environment. That's why they create some honeypot server to, push it, guys, and try to crack our environment. As I mentioned, we will take object storage encryption for every disk, and it will take for shared disk like Samba or NFS Share 2. We have several certification. As you can see, so TÜV, the Germany biggest certification provider, and some of them ISO audit will pass on our environment. So now in the present, our system based on OpenStack Mitaka with OTC patches. We doesn't use vanilla OpenStack solution, but the Huawei takes and German architects take some patches to the vanilla OpenStack. But in the near future, we want to back and use the vanilla OpenStack because it's much easier to operate and maintain the system. Because if the OpenStack fix some issue, we fix earlier, and from development for the developer, it's a crazy thing. In this month, the German data centers, the storage stacks extended to 150 petabytes capacity. I think half of SSD, half of SAS disk will put in to the environment because we get some big company from automotive, e.g., who will push all of the IoT information to the to our environment, and they need a very huge storage capacity. The GPU pass-through is good for rendering. If you have a 3D application, you will use our GPU, and it will render much more faster than your one computer at home. We have RDS is a relational database service. Nowadays, we have MySQL, PostgreSQL, and MySQL solution for the tenant, and it multi-availability, its own high availability. We will take it for the SQL servers. As I mentioned, the distributed cache service, we use the Redis. And the big data environment, we use Kafka for streaming the Storm and Carbon data. Is the beginning of the big data environment because we want to help the client to process their data because, okay, I collect your data, and who will process it? Who will data mining? And Deutsche Telekom wants to help to the customers to data mining in a big data environment. We have a collaboration with Bitnami. The Bitnami is service provider. So if you want a WordPress page, you go log into Bitnami website, push the button, I need a WordPress page, okay, and it deploy to every kind of cloud environment. And 2 months ago, the OTC, if you want, you deploy your WordPress or any other Bitnami solution to OTC environment. I mentioned the Windows based workspace is the virtual Windows for the customers. We have a SAP HANA certified servers. So the SAP HANA is the flagship of SAP company. It's an in-memory database. It's a very, very fast database for SAP application. And now, if you want a bare metal server, okay, I will take, you will click on the dashboard and you will ask a bare metal solution. No limit. We know the OpenStack, the vanilla OpenStack, every half year will take a new version. At the Q4 of 2017, we will upgrade our environment OpenStack Okata. And it will a little bit closer to the vanilla OpenStack, I think. As I mentioned, we want to work the big data, so we will build a data warehouse solution and data relational database service. Some kind of NoSQL server will available in OTC. I think the MongoDB is 100%, and other it's under negotiation. We will start the backup service and science computing because we had got science institution. I don't know what is the name because it's a restricted zone for us. So some big company will use the science computing, and we will get the NVIDIA P100 video card for analyze their data. The biggest buzzword in 2017, the IoT. So the bus and your house and your kitchen and your fridge will send data to internet. The OTC will start ready for accept this data. So we need to collaborate one of the Budapest Technical College, and we will create an IoT hubs. As I mentioned, hub to analyze data. We collect data from everywhere and every kind of IoT access, and we use to collect data with Apache Storm. We would like to use open source solution for the IoT, and we would like to use open source solution for every OTC environment. Our new idea is a hybrid cloud. That means we know several companies has got OpenStack for private cloud, and they use VMware too. They had a public cloud solution, so the OTC, MS Azure, Amazon, Google Cloud, and so on and so forth. And we would like to connect their private OpenStack cloud with OTC. All of the automotive company will want it in Germany for the German data security compliance, and they wanted to use, but our sales guys will go to other parts of company. Yes. We are hiring. So nowadays we had got, I think, 10 certified OpenStack administrator, and the ITSH, if you want, they will pay your OpenStack administrator knowledge. We want to collect architects, sysadmins, and some kind of manager. But I come from technical side, so I want to need sysadmins and architects too. The team is about 40 guys from technical side. We have two sites, one of the Budapest. We works on 9 to 5 p.m. And we have another site at Pécs. They work in shift. So the 24/7, the guys works in free shift in 24/7. The team is very good. Joke, outgoing people. Come to the ITSH, and we will change the world. Thank you. So one things, if you want to try the OpenStack in live environment, we have a desk, and our colleagues will show you how can works in live production area, the OTC.
Okay, so thank you very much for the presentation.
Okay, so now we still have some time for questions. I know that it's like after lunch, and many people are just sleeping, basically. So I will start with the questions then. So you said that you have basically two operations and implementer team here in Hungary, but this cloud is operated in Germany. So what are the challenges on this geographically distributed setup?
They operate the maintenance in Hungary. So it's not a big challenge because in Germany only architects. We have a very good, we are very close to work with us. They come to Hungary, so every day we talk about Skype, Messenger, and so on and so forth. So the operating and the maintenance is in Hungary. So if we had a management decision, highest level, we need to talk with German guys, but no other.
Thank you. I have two questions. One of them was that you mentioned that you got the OpenStack flavor from Huawei. Can you tell me in detail what differences they introduced or what fixes they made in the OpenStack system? The second question is that you mentioned that you are eager to get open source software. What about the support of those systems or those softwares?
Okay, so your first question, Huawei. I don't have any documentation what is the main difference between vanilla OpenStack and the Huawei-based OpenStack. If we try to API calls, every vanilla OpenStack API calls works in Huawei environment. One of the main reason why we use a Huawei solution, if you have a Huawei telephone, it uses MUI desktop environment, and the OTC is the service provider of MUI support. So if you have a new MUI version, the OTC will deploy to your telephone in all of the Europe region. But what is the difference? I don't know exactly. What was the second question?
The second question was the open source software and support.
The open source, we will support it. Yes, we will support.
If you find some bugs, then you import into the open source software.
Yes. We always updated the base images and the open source softwares too.
So you said that you have a deployment from Huawei, but it was also stated on the slides that OTC, I mean, probably this is your organization, do patches yourself. What's the reason for that? So why don't you rely on the vendor support?
The Huawei, the vendor, takes the patch for us, and we will patch the whole environment. Before we patch the whole environment, we test it, UA test, and so on and so forth. And that's the moment we will build a new test environment for the whole OTC, because we have several huge tenants, and we need to test the patches and the whole environment, because sometimes we get a patch and we try to deploy to test environment, and sometimes it fails and we need to roll back this patch. And okay, the vendor, okay, sorry, we fixed this issue, and okay, I will send it within 2 hours. And okay, from Chinese, 1 million people start to fix this issue, because 1 million people live in one road, and 2 hours later, the new fix comes from Huawei.
So basically, the patch is not written by you guys, but the Huawei, and you still need to have a staging and testing procedures for integrating.
Yes.
I think that this is the copy.
Okay, so in my understanding, this means that, I mean, okay, let's have a question first. Are you using the standard OpenStack or the Fusion Sphere? So Huawei provides the support for it.
Yes.
This means that they deliver the patches.
Yes.
Some upgrade policies, some life cycle management and such, and patch policy. This means that, and also Huawei is one of the key distributors of OpenStack, and they are developing this Fusion Sphere, something like that.
Yes.
So this means that you are using Fusion Sphere?
We are using Fusion Sphere and then Huawei patched OpenStack too.
Ah, magic. Thanks.
It's a mixed environment. If somebody doesn't know what is the Fusion Sphere, the Huawei hardwares has got Fusion Star certified. It means it's completely good for OpenStack environment. It's need SAP HANA stick on the servers. So if you buy a Fusion Sphere storage or Fusion Sphere server, 100% complete to install the vanilla OpenStack and the Huawei patched OpenStack too.
So, do you have any other questions? We still have like 10 minutes until break, so feel free to ask any questions.
I have too small. So I've seen that the terminology that you use in your offerings are very similar to the AWS ones. Is this intentional because you are trying to compete with AWS, or is it because it's more common to know these terms by people working within cloud?
Good question.
The direct connect, elastic load balancer, elastic storage, stuff like that. So you don't use the OpenStack terminology.
Is the name. I feel every cloud provider like AWS and Azure, the two biggest, use similar fancy name for everything. We want to, in my manager idea, we will much better than Amazon. It's a good idea. We try to work on it. But I think we need 2 or 3 years minimum to represent same solutions like Amazon, because they had about 10 years experience in cloud environment, I think, and we have got only 2 or 3 years experience. So we need 2 or 3 years for to kill Amazon. What my manager mentioned it.
So my question would be, you had a slide stating 3 nines availability, 99.95%. Are there any specific solutions built in? So, or is it just more standard? So, talking about VM availability.
We used some HA solutions, so we used.
So standard.
So we use the standard. So we use keep alive the HA proxy. So no magic, no magic for HA.
So in your presentation, you mentioned these networking services like load balancing and firewalling, and OpenStack not necessarily provides it fully, these functions. How do you solve this problem? Do you use proprietary solutions, for example, firewalling, load balancing, and do you use software-based or hardware-based solutions for this?
For firewalls, the Huawei will take at the end of the year new dashboard for OTC, and you will able to create a restricted network, and you will be able to manage your firewalls. It communicates with Huawei firewall appliance. Nowadays we use some Huawei firewalls, and we use the software firewalls too. And we will work on to manage from dashboard not only your environment. We want to manage the global cloud environment, manage from a dashboard.
Okay, if there is no more questions, then I would thank you, Csaba.
I would thank you very much for coming and having this presentation about the Open Telekom Cloud.